What would a Mars colony look like? How are we going to get there? How is this going to be funded? Well, this is what we're going to discuss. The rocket we will be travelling on currently doesn't have an official name, but is being called the BFR, which stands for Big Effing Rocket, made by this guy. He is responsible for this, and a couple of other things. His team at SpaceX plan to send their first missions to Mars ahead of all the other competition. In 2022, SpaceX planned to launch 2 cargo ships to Mars, then another 2 cargo in 2024, as well as 2 crewed flights.
So about this massive rocket. The BFR is about as big as the Saturn V rocket, but far bigger than any other SpaceX rockets. This massive rocket will stand 106 meters tall and 9 meters wide. The BFR will have 40 cabins, a common area, as well as a solar storm shelter. Each cabin would be able to squeeze 6 people, but nobody fancies spending 6 months in a room with 6 people, so there would probably only be 3 or 4 to a cabin. The delta wing on the BFR is there to provide stability as it travels through different atmospheres. The BFR will run on methane. SpaceX chose this source of fuel because there is a heap of methane on Mars. Therefore, they don't have to bring fuel with them for the return trip. They only have to bring a machine that converts water and carbon dioxide into methane. The water can be found in the ice caps at the poles of Mars. Another big bonus is the ability to refuel in Earth's orbit. Once the crew ship is up, the first stage returns back to Earth to pick up another BFR, this time carrying a lot of fuel. After refueling, the tanker then returns to Earth. The advantage of refueling in space is that you can use the fuel to get more stuff into Earth's orbit. Then once that stuff is in Earth's orbit, you will have enough fuel to take all of that stuff to Mars.
Who is going to pay for this? The way SpaceX are going to be able to afford to build a massive rocket is by slowly phasing out all of their current rockets and just focusing on the BFR. This will dramatically bring down the cost. The BFR will be a multi-purpose rocket. It will launch satellites as well as fly missions to the ISS, Moon and Mars. The BFR will be cheaper to run than any other rocket on the market now. This includes SpaceX's Falcon 9 and Falcon 9 Heavy rockets. The extremely cheap launch cost will open up the possibilities for a moon base, and SpaceX also plan to use the BFR for point-to-point travel on Earth. You will be able to get to most places on Earth in 30 minutes or less, anywhere in under an hour. Imagine being able to pop over to Europe for a day trip and being able to return in time for dinner.
So what would a colony on Mars look like? Well, this is what SpaceX think it will look like. So we'll start off smaller, and then it will get bigger, and bigger, and bigger, and then even bigger. There will be routine trips to the Red Planet, and you might even be able to get there in your lifetime.
It is predicted that by the end of the century, we will have more than 1 million people living on Mars.